Labrador kneels down to dog handler to stay alive. Even when his neck was clamped hard, the dog never wanted to bite. He kept begging for mercy. Why was such an understanding dog sold to the dog trader? Doesn't the owner feel any pain? In fact, this Labrador is not only obedient. It had been with the owner for 9 years. When the dog trader put the dog into the cage, the owner stood by and watched the whole process. But he didn't have any pity on his face. Instead, he looked at the $60 in his hand and enjoyed it. According to the owner, this Labrador is now 9 years old. At such an advanced age, his body functions have declined a lot. When the owner walks the dog every day, it's very difficult to walk the dog. So Labrador stays at home almost every day. Every month, he has to eat hundreds of dollars of dog food. Because his body is too fat, the dog sleeps every day, almost always snores. This once caused discontent in the family. Originally, the purpose of owning a dog is to make oneself happy. But now, because the dog is restless every day, the owner's family decided to sell the dog. This morning, the owner wanted to take the Labrador to the dog market, but the dog didn't want to go out. It seemed to hear the family talking about selling the dog, so the owner lied to the dog. He lied to the dog that he was going out to buy a chicken leg. Then the Labrador went out of his own accord. He was already at the dog market. Labrador realized his master was lying to him. So, he lay down on the ground to protest. No matter how much his master dragged him, he didn't budge. He even tried to sneak towards his home. But unfortunately, in the end, the owner dragged him back. 120 pounds of Labrador was sold by the owner to dog dealers. The dog was seriously frightened, but the owner stood by and watched. When the owner dragged the Labrador to the dog market, its fat body soon attracted a large number of dog dealers to watch. But when they found out it was an old dog, they all left in disappointment. But there was one dog dealer who said he could buy it. After discussing with the owner, the dog was sold for $60. The dog trader paid off the cash on the spot. Then, he pulled out the clip from behind his back. Don't look at the rust on the clip, but it's been used on thousands of dogs. When the Labrador was pinched, probably felt threatened, kneeled down directly on the ground. The crowd of onlookers gasped in surprise. This dog is so spiritual. They tried to persuade the owner not to sell the dog. After all, it's been 9 years. The family doesn't need $60. Despite being criticized by the onlookers, the owner of the dog still clutched the money in his hand, unwilling to let go. The dog trader forced the Labrador into a cage. The dog was so scared that he peed himself. After measuring, the Labrador weighed more than 120 pounds. The dog trader's face immediately burst into smiles. Then they loaded the dog into a car. The car was going to the dog meat restaurant. Just as the dog trader was about to leave, a big brother in the crowd stopped him. He thought the Labrador was very smart, so he was going to buy it for $150. It's a sure thing for the dog trader. But he looked at him and didn't say anything. The Labrador was sold by its owner after 9 years of ownership. The dog kneeled down to the onlookers in order to survive, just as he was about to be sent to a dog meat restaurant. When the dog was about to be sent to the dog meat restaurant, a big boss in the crowd made a move. He asked for $150 for the Labrador. The dog handler had only paid $60 for the dog, just when the crowd thought the dog was about to be rescued. I didn't realize that the dog trader was asking for a lot of money. He asked for $300. The boss froze in his tracks when he heard it. After a lifetime in the business, he had never seen a rogue businessman. Brother took a look at the Labrador's pitiful appearance. He gave the dog trader $300. The dog trader took the money and immediately changed his face. He willingly pulled the Labrador out of the cage. After the dog was reborn, the dog became more lively. Everyone praised the dog trader as a good businessman. In less than half a day's work, he netted $90. Just as he was about to leave with the dog, the owner was not happy. He's the one who brought the dog here, but he only got $60. When he saw the dog trader made 4 times as much as he did, he felt unbalanced in his heart. So the two sides argued. He doesn't want to sell now, but Big Brother wasn't going to let him get away with it. He made it clear the dog was bought from a dog trader. If he wasn't satisfied, he could ask the dog trader for money. Everyone agreed with him. But the dog trader had already left with the money. The owner of the dog had no place to argue. He stopped talking under the accusations of the crowd. In front of everyone, he took the Labrador. He took away the Labrador in front of everyone. The dog may have been hurt by its previous owner. He willingly followed him away. The owner was left alone.